Good morning. Welcome to Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace. Welcome to the soul of Sunday. We are Unitarian Universalists. Ours is an historic faith with a progressive theology. We affirm the worth and dignity of every being, and that we are all deeply interconnected. We are bound to one another not by creed, but by covenant, and we are called to love with open minds, open hearts, and open hands. Whoever you are, those of all nations, all creeds, all colors, all kinds of love, you are welcome here. As we gather, we acknowledge that Arlington Street Church occupies the ancestral homeland of the Massachusetts. By making this land acknowledgement, we recognize, honor, and affirm the sovereignty of all First Nations peoples.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Allie, and I'm joining Lucy in the pulpit for just a few moments. Today's pulpit flowers are from Arlington Street in honor of our beloved Don Richter, who died this past Thursday. Don and his wife Phyllis, who died 5 years ago, were beloved members of this community for decades. Don was even on Reverend Kim's search committee 35 years ago. In recent years, Don joined us by Zoom. Don is known for his commitment to justice work, both at Arlington Street, where he and Phyllis were on the Social Action Committee for years, at our association level, and within the greater Boston community, where he regularly worked to make Boston a more loving and just place for all. Most recently, Don was advocating for changes to the Massachusetts state flag and seal. Don loved Phyllis powerfully, missed her deeply, and in this last hospitalization was remembering her and hoping to be with her again. Our Laura Pattison describes Don as an inspiring, sweet, and dear man whom we will miss very much. Reverend George and Gaby, Reverend John Gibbons, myself, and Reverend Parisa have been talking with Don's sons, who are planning for an early September memorial service. We will share more specific information with you as soon as we have it. Thank you to everyone who has visited Don, thought of Don, and loved Don. We are holding you especially close during this time, and we are here for you. Please reach out if you need anything at all. Don, this chalice lighting is for you. These words are from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Human progress is neither automatic nor inevitable. Every step toward the goal of justice requires sacrifice, suffering, and struggle, the tireless exertions and passionate concern of dedicated individuals. Thank you for your tireless dedication, Don. You will always be a part of us. We love you. Don Richter, presente.
I took my love and I took it down. I climbed the mountain, I turned around, oh, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills till the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I hand and all the seasons of my life. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. I'm getting older too. So take this love, take it down. Oh, if you climb a mountain and you turn around, if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, the landslide will bring it down. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, the landslide will bring it down. Well, the landslide will bring it down.
Good morning. Welcome to our Zoomers and welcome to the congregation gathered in person. I'm Lucy Humphrey. Reverend Beth is on summer sabbatical, as is Director of Music Mark David Buckles and the Arlington Street Church Choir. Reverend Parisa will lead us in worship in September. Patrick Kulibeck and I are joined by Hyungju Jung and Daniel Rosenzweig. Thank you, friends. And a very special thanks to all our volunteers here in the sanctuary, tech team, greeters, ushers, and coffee hour hosts. If you're new here, we're so glad you're here. If you'd like to know more about Arlington Street, please visit us at ascboston.org. There's a link where you can sign up for the weekly e-newsletter, Snapshot, which will resume this fall. Whether you've been coming here for years or today is your first time at Arlington Street, welcome home.
Good morning, all. A warm welcome to our preacher this morning, Lucy Humphrey. Lucy is a longtime member of Arlington Street Church and is a member of our worship committee. She's a recent graduate of Wellesley College, as well as a paralegal, a music lover, and martial artist. She strives to bring her loving kindness to her community and everyone she interacts with. It is a scorcher again here in Boston today. There are pitchers of cold water back at the great doors if you need to avail yourself of that. Ushers will help you if you're having any difficulty with the heat. If you haven't already downloaded today's order of service, it's available in the chat and on our homepage at ascboston.org. For guests here in the sanctuary, there are printed copies back at the great doors. As we begin our greetings, I invite the Zoomers and those here in the sanctuary with a device handy to please say hello in the chat and tell us where you're zooming in from today. And now, Michael is going to turn our camera on the in-person congregation as we wave and smile at each other, as well as at our friends in the Zoom room. And you all in the Zoom room can wave and smile back. Good morning, friends. Let's all engage that Arlington Street spirit of welcome that transcends physical distance as we greet one another, heart to heart. Our opening hymn this morning is hymn 1000, Morning Has Come. We'll be led this morning by Daniel Rosenzweig, and the lyrics can be found in the order of service, in the chat, and in the teal hymnal. Let's rise now in body, rise in spirit, and sing together hymn 1000, Morning Has Come.
Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment shared together. The light of peace here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
It is now time for our treasured ritual of sharing community candles of sorrow and joy. These candles were submitted on our website by the Friday evening deadline. If you didn't submit your candle and have a joy or sorrow to share this morning, please wait until the third candle is lit, the silent candle, and then type your joy or sorrow into the chat. Zoomers are invited to light silent candles at home. Those in the sanctuary are invited to light a silent candle at the table up front to the right of the Gleason podium. In addition to sharing our joys and sorrows this morning, let's reach out to one another in the week ahead, staying connected. May these times remind us of how very precious our beloved community is. We need one another. Whether together or apart, may we stay very close. And now, in the spirit of invocation, let's join in singing Sanctuary. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Some of us come today with heavy hearts. We open our hearts to you.
A candle of sorrow from Fran Peterson. A candle that my bride, Michelle, is not here to celebrate what would have been our 11th wedding anniversary on July 12th. As days pass, my heart is still broken, and I look for Michelle at every turn. As I light a candle in remembrance of my bride, I look back at the past and all the days we filled with love and laughter. I look towards the future with hope we will be together again one day. A candle of concern from the Arlington Street community after yesterday's shooting at a rally for former President Trump in Pennsylvania. We hold all impacted by gun violence here and everywhere in our hearts. In this time of huge fear and pain, may we never resort to violence. May we respond to injustice and hate with voting for and speaking with love, and may this love determine our future. Our final candles are candles of love and concern for our Harriet and Frank, who are both ill. Harriet wrote that she is holding Meta for all also suffering from COVID and respiratory illnesses in hopes that it softens the intensity for them. Harriet and Frank, as you hold others while you work to heal, we are holding you with so much love and hope.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Some of us come today in joy. We share your joy.
A candle of joy from Stephen Hemrick and Richard Schneider, who are celebrating their 25th anniversary together. They met on Bastille Day, July 14th, 1999 in Provincetown. So today is the exact anniversary of their first bonjour. They were married by Reverend Kim and Reverend Beth in this church in October 2022. A candle of joy from Lucy Humphrey for her goddaughter, Josiah, who's getting christened this morning. While I'm missing the actual christening, I'll be there for all your other milestones. And our final candle is a community candle for the Boston Red Sox as they enter the All-Star break in contention for a playoff spot, and also for featuring Lucy's mom, Vicki Henry, on the Jumbotron scoreboard last Thursday night during the game's dance-off. Vicki, we're looking for you to bust a move next time we see you all in person.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
For all the sorrows and all the joys we hold in our heart, we light a silent candle to remember and to rejoice. May the peace of this sanctuary enter into our hearts as we share a quiet moment together, breathing our prayers for ourselves, for one another, for the country, and for the world. Amen.
Let's join now in saying together the affirmation and covenant of our beloved spiritual community. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak our truths with love, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de nuestra congregación, y el servicio es nuestro regalo. Esto es a lo que nos comprometemos, con vivir en paz, hablar nuestras verdades con amor, y ayudarnos los unos a los otros. Our second hymn today is hymn 1014, Standing on the Side of Love. Once again, we'll be led by Daniel Rosenzweig, and the lyrics can be found in the order of service in the chat and in the teal hymnal. Let's rise now in body, rise in spirit, and sing together hymn 1014, Standing on the Side of Love.
We have a small update to the lyrics. Your books and order of service will say standing on the side of love, but we say answering the call of love. Promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide, and so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim that we are answering the call of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim that we are answering the call of love. A bright new day is dawning, when love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim that we are answering the call of love. One more time. We are answering the call of love.
There's been a lot of change in my life recently. As many of you know, I just graduated college. I decided to put my degree to use and get a big girl job, and as a result, I left my beloved job as a preschool teacher. That's already a lot of change, but at the same time, Boomerang's closed, the thrift store, and my favorite local coffee shop as well. These places have been touchstones in my life. They give me comfort and friendship. I am on a first-name basis with everyone who works at that coffee shop. I know their passions and what's going on in their lives, and they have seen me through all of my finals. These places mean a lot to me. So sometimes I get a little overwhelmed by all that is changing. Instead, I try to focus on what has been consistent in my life, places I can return to in order to maintain my communities. I mentioned in my bio that I am a music lover, and as some of you may know, I play the bassoon. Not the typical instrument choice of a middle schooler, but nonetheless one I have stuck with. While I don't get as many opportunities to play anymore, about 2 or 3 times a year I return to the Community Music Center of Boston for bassoon band. You might have a few questions about that sentence. CMCB is an organization that provides music education and arts experiences to many kids who would otherwise not have had that opportunity. Bassoon band is exactly what it sounds like, a band composed entirely of bassoons. My teacher at CMCB, Janet, gathers up all of her current and former students in the Boston area, and we play a mix of classical and pop music together. Imagine 12 bassoons playing Lady Gaga in the streets of Roxbury, and you'll have an idea of how I spent a Saturday. Whenever I go back and play with Janet and her gaggle of bassoonists, I am reminded of how much joy it brings me to play music with other people. I reunite with old friends who I only see when I play in bassoon band. I provide moral support for some of the younger bassoonists who are nervous about playing in public, and most importantly, I get to share the music that we make. Bassoon band played at Open Streaks Roxbury, and I chatted with people there who had never heard of a bassoon before. If you too are confused about what a bassoon is, don't worry, you're not alone. I explained what the instrument is and how it works, and then we played our music. I could see the kids passing by to stop and marvel, and the parents who were slightly confused, but interested. Playing again at CMCB gave me a community of bassoonists, music teachers, and appreciators, and then brought me into the community of Boston to share that music. Another place I've returned to, even if I myself am a newcomer to it, is Gays for Patsy. This is another group some of y'all might be aware of. I stumbled upon them when my friend asked me if I wanted to go line dancing in JP. Always one for a new experience, especially if it involves dancing, I agreed. At the end of the night, I stopped back at my house and told my parents what I had done that night. My mom looked at me with amusement and asked if the group I had danced with was Gays for Patsy. When I said yes, she smiled at me and told me that was the group she and Claire used to dance with. Growing up, I had heard stories about their time in Gays for Patsy's performance dance troupe, and I had played dress-up with their old costumes. Although I was new to country line dancing, I was still somehow returning to a space that I had always known. Apparently, I was brought there as an infant. The next time I went back, I said hi to all my mom's friends that were still dancing with GFP. That same night, as I was on the dance floor, when I heard someone shout in surprise, "Is that Lucy Humphrey?" I looked around when I heard my name, which is difficult to do as I try not to trip on my feet, and I spotted one of my godmothers, Auntie Danielle, who also used to dance with GFP. I hadn't seen her since COVID, so I got to catch up with her, and we got to dance. She was significantly better than me, not surprisingly. I now go to every social dance that GFP offers, and I have made friends there who are very passionate about line dancing and are organizing events in addition to the ones that GFP offers. Spaces like Gays for Patsy in the Community Music Center of Boston have become incredibly important to me. They provide a necessary service in these times. They gather people together and let them get loose in community. If I find myself feeling isolated, the connections I make there help me feel a little less lost. It's no coincidence for me, at least, that these places are tied to music. It has been such an integral part of my life. I'll give you another instance that relates to music. Since I was going to be out of town for Pride this year, I thought I would lend a hand to Queen Cheryl and the beautification, or gayification, of the sanctuary. On the Thursday before Pride, I joined Queen Cheryl, Morgan, Barbara, and a few others, and we set to work decorating this place. Of course, no work could be completed without a phenomenal soundtrack. The speaker was loud, and it played music that I do not often hear in church, unless you count the dance floors as a type of church. Looking upon this magnificent tapestry of gay and trans flags, I felt so much joy and so much pride to be in a space with my friends with the express purpose of creating a welcoming and loving community. I know I'm lucky to have had this experience, and I know it's been hard-won. As we continue to work towards making this a reality for everyone, I am mindful of those who aren't as fortunate. I recently read a story about the obituary of a veteran, Colonel Edward Thomas Ryan, who passed away on June 1st of this year. In his obituary was a message that he wrote before his death. I must tell you one more thing. I was gay all through my life, through grade school, through high school, through college, through life. I was in a loving and caring relationship with Paul Cavagnaro of North Greenbush. He was the love of my life. We had 25 great years together. Paul died in 1994. I'll be buried next to him. His message continues, I'm sorry for not having the courage to come out as gay. I was afraid of being ostracized by family, friends, and coworkers. Seeing how people like me were treated, I could just not do it. Now that my secret is known, I'll forever rest in peace. Edward Thomas Ryan, Presente. When I came across this story, I was both inspired that he had the courage to come out at all, and heartbroken that he still had to hide who he was. I am lucky to have had the support and care of all of my communities, and his story reminds me of how lucky I am. I sometimes struggle to articulate how I'm feeling, so I will borrow the words from a musician that I like, Hozier. It ain't the being alone. It ain't the empty home. You know, I'm good on my own. It's more the being unknown. Colonel Ryan found love and eventually found peace, but he was unknown, at least in one aspect, all his life. His story led me to think about the difference between being alone and being unknown. I am glad he wasn't alone, but to be unknown everywhere else feels profoundly lonely to me. His story motivates me to build and value the connections and communities I have, the places where I can be fully myself. As everything feels like it is changing around me, I turn to these places where I feel known, where people really know me. For me, these spaces are often centered around music, whether I'm dancing, performing, or at a local artist concert. When I'm there, I feel connected to the people around me. Even if they don't know me, I feel seen. Now, you might be listening to me and thinking, I am not a person who likes big social events with loud music and a gazillion people. I don't know what I'm supposed to take from this. And that's fair, events like that can be overwhelming. As Hozier says, I'm good on my own, and he's right. Sometimes I need to be alone. It helps me recharge. Maybe you like reading or going on walks in the park, or generally just being by yourself. For you, I turn to the words of poet David Wagner. Stand still. The trees ahead and the bushes beside you are not lost. Wherever you are is called here, and you must treat it as a powerful stranger. Must ask permission to know it and be known. The forest breathes. Listen, it answers. I have made this place around you. If you leave it, you may come back again saying, here. No two trees are the same to raven, no two branches are the same to wren. If what a tree or a bush does is lost on you, you are surely lost. Stand still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. While this poem is ostensibly about being in the moment, I take another lesson from it. The forest breathes. Listen, it answers. Wherever you are, the trees know you. The weeds, the flowers, the bushes, they know you. You are a part of this interconnected web of life, and that includes the trees. When you walk among them, they know you. The birds who have made a home in the trees know you, and they answer you too. So I think, even in solitude, you don't have to be lonely. There is something or someone out there that knows you. You can be alone and not be lonely. But a part of this poem is that you have to ask permission to know and be known. You have to put yourself out there, as scary as it may seem. I'll return to my coffee shop, the one that has since closed down. While the coffee shop may not be the same, I'll have the opportunity to be known again. I recently introduced myself to the new owner and struck up a conversation with her. She's going to be opening a new coffee shop in its place. Things change, and that can be very difficult. But the end of one thing often marks the beginning of another. I now have a chance to make a new community. There's a lot of change and a lot of uncertainty in our world right now, and it can be a struggle to feel any sense of stability. That is why finding and maintaining community is so essential. It is in these spaces that we are known and we are loved. Times of change give us an opportunity to create new communities that can know us as we truly are. These spaces can only exist if we put ourselves out there and actively work to maintain them. When we reach out to those around us and get to know them, it allows us to be known in return. I'll end with a song that we sing at Sanctuary Boston as we do our community candles of sorrow and joy. After we have listened to the members of the congregation, we sing these words together. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. I want you all to be able to rest in the love that we have cultivated in this community and take that love and send it out. We rest in this love. Amen.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden sky, and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden sky, and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone.
Arlington Street is entirely self-sustaining. It's up to us, and our generosity continues to be astounding. Thank you for your commitment to our staff, our building, and our beloved spiritual community. Each Sunday, we share our collection plate with a partner in our mission of love, service, justice, and peace. During the summer months, our share of the plate offerings are saved to use for future emergencies and to help in rescue and rebuilding efforts following natural and unnatural disasters, amplifying our impact around the world. Recently, Sarah and I unearthed a box of dozens of CDs of children's music, including 5 or 6 by the Canadian singer Raffi. I have no idea how that happened. But we've had a grand time reminiscing about the songs we all used to listen to and sing together to small children as a family. One that's particularly appropriate to today's service is, the more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. You can join if you like, because your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Thank you. So we're here this morning, we're here together this morning. Without turning this into an episode of Romper Room, I see you Zoomers out there, Richard, Marie in Chicago, everyone else. We know you're out there with us too. I can definitely report that I'm happier than I would be otherwise, and I hope the same is true for all of you as well. This week I've also come a report that scientists have recently identified a neural link between generosity and happiness. Studies have found that generous people are generally more satisfied with life, or more optimistic, and have closer relationships with others. Or as another article put it more directly in layperson's terms, generous people live happier lives than Scrooges. So in that spirit of generosity, and in the name of scientific progress, let's find out if that neural link is a two-way street. Are happier people more generous? Please take a moment now to join me in giving to sustain our beloved Arlington Street. You can give online at ascboston.org or check the order of service for instructions on how to give via QR code, Venmo, or text message. You can also mail a check to the church or use the envelopes in the pews, which can be given to the ushers as they come through momentarily with collection plates. Thank you for your generosity. Andrew, thank you for that beautiful piece by German pianist and composer Anton Schmoe. If you'd like more Arlington Street in your week, please check out our homepage at aseboston.org. There are weekly gatherings in our Zoom room for loving kindness, meditation, poetry, yoga, and writing. Reverend Allie and Reverend John will hold their weekly summer tea for times of change this Wednesday at 5 p.m. This week's prompt is, tell us about a significant ASC memory or experience of yours. Next Sunday's preacher is Rich Abreu, who will be delivering a sermon entitled Weightlessness. We live in interesting times, and it can be hard to stay grounded in a world of change. Join Rich as he floats some ideas on navigating the many transitions in our lives, both locally and in the larger world. Perhaps a lack of gravity could teach us a thing or two. More information on our entire summer lineup of preachers, as well as our Zoom room links, are at ascboston.org. To attend any of them, you don't have to be a member. You don't have to turn on your video or talk if you don't want to, and they're all free. All are always welcome. Following the service, everyone is welcome to join the virtual coffee hour. If you'd like to participate, please answer yes to the breakout room invitation that will appear on your screen. If you're here in the sanctuary, you'll need to go to the Zoom room before the Postlude begins. If you're here in person, following the service today, we'll gather in the Honeywell Chapel for a live chat coffee hour featuring lemonade and something edible. Change that. Right through the leather door to the right of the pulpit. Cookie, okay. I passed a note, so if you can bring in drinks or snacks for a future live chat coffee hour this summer, please email the office. Please email office@ascboston.org or talk to Sarah Cooleybeck or Kat Foley afterwards. Kat Fahey. I can't even read my own writing. I think the heat is addling my brain a little bit. Anyway, catch up with us after the service. It is crowdsourced this summer, so we're all kind of chipping in and helping out. Thanks to all of you who joined in today's service and to all those who made it possible. Remember, we're all in this together. We love you all. Our final hymn this morning is hymn number 1028, Fire of Commitment. Daniel will lead us once again, and the lyrics can be found in the order of service, in the chat, and in the teal hymnal. Let's rise now in body, rise in spirit, and sing together hymn 1028, Fire of Commitment.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze. When our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way. When we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Before our benediction, I invite those of you in the Zoom room to please reach out your hands and touch the sides of your square, and those in the sanctuary to please raise your hands, palm out. Let's send loving kindness to the people to your left and to your right, and send loving kindness to the person on either side of you and to the people on either side of them. Send love out into this beloved spiritual community and feel it coming back to you. Love is the spirit of this congregation. And now for our benediction, I invite you to put your hands over your heart in namaste. I bow to the divine in you. In the words of Reverend Cynthia Landrum, we leave this gathered community, but we don't leave our connection, our concerns, our care for each other. Our service to each other, to the world, and to our faith continues. Until we are together again, friends, be strong, be well, be true, be loving. Let us keep this faith, beloveds, and pass it on. The service begins when the service ends. Bless your hearts. I love you. Amen.
Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine.
Please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.